good, y'all? It's your boy, The Shows, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to Shows World TV. So today, guys, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 things that people in New York City hate about the winter. Now, I know for a fact that Canada, y'all got a worse winter than us, and I hope y'all pull through because I kind of been keeping up with your weather updates through Google, and it's not a good look for y'all. But we here to talk about the NYC winter, and sometimes, not all the time, it can be just as bad. So here are the top 10 things that most people hate about winter in NYC. Now, being a fellow New Yorker myself, I think it's only right that I talk about it. So let's just get into the list, man. And now, as a disclaimer, this list is my personal view on it. You know, obviously there are other things that people hate about the winter in NYC, but I'm gonna talk about stuff that I feel like most people in New York City hate about the winter. So let's just go. Number 10, bloody boogers. Now, this isn't something that happens too often with me, but like especially when it's below zero, you know, the nose dries out, and sometimes you don't really get to moisturize, you know, inside the nose or whatever. So then what happens is blood vessels crack in there, and the nose tries to protect you, and by the time you get back inside, your nose is filled with just a lot of, you know, dry mucus, and when you go to blow your nose, you find bloody boogers. Now again, this is a very rare thing with me, but when I see it, it's pretty disgusting. You know, it really is an unsightly thing, and nobody likes to see that. Now, I don't know if it happens to anyone else in New York, but I can tell you for a fact it happens to me. But like I said, not too often. Number nine, dirty, slushy snow puddles. Now, pretty sure you know that when it snows a lot, like if we get like say like 6-7 inches of snow, let's say for example, and then it starts to melt away, you know, once it's all done with, you can see sometimes, especially near like the sidewalks when you're about to cross somewhere, you can start to see these big, giant, dirty, you know, puddles of slush and snow, right, from the salt and everything. And sometimes when it gets into, you know, your boots or whatever, it gets really nasty, right, or the shoes. If there just happens to be a little open area in the shoe from breakage, yeah, that's pretty bad. Which will lead into the next thing. Number 8, damaged socks. Now, like I said, you know, the last thing was leading into that because sometimes when you accidentally step into one of these dirty slush snow puddles, you end up with these very, very, very dirty socks, man. Like sometimes I'll come home and take the socks off, and I'll see these weird like orange, yellow color patterns from you know, the snow, basically because I had a breakage in a shoe, and you know, the socks, they get really, really damaged from that, and it ends up with this weird, like I said, orange, yellow color for some reason. I don't know what causes that, and I'm really hoping it's not what I think it is. I hope it's not urine, because if that's what that is, that's pretty disgusting and gross, man. But yeah, damaged socks for sure is something that people hate, you know, from getting wet from the dirty slushy snow. Alright, so number 7, freezing rain. This is a rare occurrence in winter storms in NYC, but freezing rain for sure is something that's a big problem because sometimes it'll snow and it'll be like light flurry snow, right? But then at some point you get the freezing rain, and that makes it worse because then you get the ice look like steps and the sidewalks and all that, and it's pretty bad, man. The freezing rain for sure is something that nobody in NYC likes. Number 6, rain and hail. Yeah, this is another thing that happens during winter storms over here. I'm pretty sure it happens other places, but rain and hail for sure is a bad thing. Now, luckily, unlike some other states I've heard about, we don't get the hail that is the size of golf balls or a little bigger, but it still gets bad. And sometimes when it hits you, it hurts bad. I remember one time during high school, I was leaving to go home, and it started raining hell, and I had to pull my umbrella out real quick because it was really painful when it started dropping on my face and everything. I tell you, you don't want to be in a hailstorm. For sure, you don't want to be in a hailstorm. Number 5, cracked lips. Now, you do all the applying with the chapstick and everything, you know, to try to moisturize your lips so that they don't get all ashy and whatever, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. And like I said, in the extreme cold, sometimes you get the very, very chapped lips, and that's a very big problem there. Yeah, honestly, that's not a good look, man. Making you look like you know, were covered in ice the whole time or something. It's not, it's just nasty looking. You ever just see the skin peel off someone's lips? Especially when it look all cracked and everything? You know, especially with the kids, man. Sometimes you gotta tell kids all the time, like, just try to put something on the lips so that it don't look so chapped. You feel me? That's a very bad look indeed. Number 4, crowded subways and buses. Now, much like the summer, if there's like some kind of, I guess you could say, power problem or you know, a surge in power that causes some kind of delay because there's an electrical issue or whatever, believe it or not, this happens a lot in the winter as well. And then what ends up happening is instead of getting the trains in their normal capacity, you end up with a lot of people late for work or late for school, and then you got very crowded trains, and then people are frustrated with each other and everything. Yeah, it's just not good. You know, you already live in a stressful city where everyone's hustling and bustling trying to get somewhere. A lot of them not going anywhere fast, obviously, you know, so you kind of wonder what the rush is, but at the same time, it only makes it worse when there's a crowded subway or a crowded bus, because now where you were supposed to be going on time, you can't get to on time. And then, like I said, you're late for work, you're late for school, you know, your friend's house, wherever you're going. It's a big mess, man, and it causes a lot of stress added that you didn't have before your day started. So MTA, y'all trying to raise the prices, and that's not making anything better either. But that's probably a whole nother video for that time, and I might actually make a whole entire video on that. But yeah, let's just keep going. Number 3, icy roads and, you know, sidewalks. I mean, this goes back to one of the ones I said about earlier, but yeah, you slipping and falling, you can't get to where you're going on time, and yeah, sometimes you have to take your time walking, but it's especially worse if you're old, because sometimes they have the walkers and the canes, and you don't want to be out there with the slippery, you know, the slippery ice and everything. And the black ice especially makes it worse when you're out there just trying to walk and be careful with where you're going, because you might slip and fall. And believe me, as someone who's had this happen too many times to count, it's either gonna look very funny to someone else, or it's gonna be very, you know, just unnecessary to be dealing with during your day. And so I would say, yeah, the city needs to do a better job, obviously, of clearing the roads before people go outside, and they have been improving slightly. I still feel like they could do just a little better, but that's just me. Number 2, howling icy wind. Now I know you know what I'm talking about. You could be outside just waiting for, I guess, like a bus or a train. If you're just a regular New Yorker just going somewhere, and everything's fine until that wind hits your face, and it just feels like a lot of little icicles hitting your face all at once. But even if you cover up, sometimes you can still feel that intense ice cold from the wind just blowing across your face, and it's a very unpleasant thing to be dealing with. It's more torturing than sweating during the summer. It's more torturing than, you know, having to just lay around somewhere in the heat. I feel most people, for some reason, would definitely prefer to deal with the heat of the summer rather than deal with the cold wind of the, you know, the winter. So that's just a given. Accidentally stepping in dog remains in either dirty snow leaves or just snow that happens to cover it, you know, from the dirt and everything. It's bad. because you know, I live in the Bronx, man, so you got a lot of people walking around with their dogs and they don't clean up after the dogs, so the dogs end up doing their business on the street. And then, you know, every once in a while, by accident, I'll step somewhere and don't even realize until I get inside the house that I stepped in the dog business, man, and it's not good. You know, I wish more people would clean up after their dogs, obviously, but that doesn't happen. And again, I live in the Bronx, so this is a very common problem. Now, that isn't to say I don't see it in Manhattan, but I definitely see it more over here, and that's really an issue. You know, stepping in the dog messes in the snow with the dirty leaves and everything, like I said, it's pretty bad. It's happened before. I've had to come home and wash the sneakers off and everything. It's not a good look, man. Definitely. Okay, so the number one thing that a lot of New Yorkers hate about the New York winter, and I feel like this is especially true if you are an adult: shoveling snow. For sure, shoveling snow is not something we all don't want to do, especially if, say, we live in a house, because then that means we gotta go outside into this bitter cold and get rid of all the excess snow just so we can go somewhere, especially on the sidewalk and all that. It's a headache. It's really a headache. And then sometimes what ends up happening is you walk out there, you come back inside, you got a lot of melted water on your boots and everything, and you gotta clean them off and make sure that you didn't bring something crazy inside, like I said earlier with the dog poops. You know, accidentally stepping into that sometimes. Live in the Bronx. Now, yeah, it's shoveling snow for sure is something that a lot of people don't want to be dealing with, and we haven't dealt with that yet because December 2018 just passed and now it's 2019. We haven't had that much snow to be having to shovel like that. But I can assure you, sometime it's coming soon, and we're all gonna hate dealing with that. Yeah. So that was my video, guys, on the top 10 things that New Yorkers hate about the New York winter. Hope you made it to the end. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave it a like, share, comment, and subscribe today to get new videos from me, okay? So it's your boy, The Shows. And once again, if you're new to the channel, it's The Shows World TV. I make new videos for every Thursday, okay? So don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every time I make a new video, okay? Follow me on all my social media, okay? The links will be in the description down below. And also follow me on the Like app for more videos from me. You know, under the name World Shows. I'll put that in the description below as well. Alright, man. So this is your boy, The Shows, and I will see you guys next time when I upload. Peace.